again today, and I know it's been a while since I've been on, but of course, sickness is going around so much right now. It's just really amazing, and now that we're falling into our winter weather, unfortunately, this coronavirus hopefully will end in time and people will be able to feel better and get out and play more and enjoy themselves and get back to work and feel good again. So if I'm a little shaky in this video, it's just still just lingering stuff that's going around our small community. Flus and whatnots. I think it's really important during this time to do a lot of self-care, to practice a lot of self-care, especially if you're working again and you're physically tired and fighting things off. Just continuing to wear our masks when we're out in public. I'm sure that really helps. But to take a good care of yourself, get as much rest as you can, drink lots of water and fluid, and eat as healthy as possible, and get plenty of sleep. But, you know, um, back to the topic of narcissism again, codependency and addiction. I don't really make notes or anything, but I do go by personal experience and what I've been through so far and still continue to go through. Um, there is a stage in recovery, codependency recovery, um, where a lot of people don't like. And because it's not very fun, because, of course, as creatures of human beings, we like to socialize. We like to be with other people, and that is basic instinct for us. As I'm learning that social being with others is an important element to our health and well-being. Um, as all the four tires are that I've discussed in the past, where when we have what helps stabilize us is good relationships, um, play, and then there's the four tires in the wheel, where the wheel is spirit, connecting with your spirit or God force or inner self, connecting with yourself, so we're not so scattered and dependent on other people's energies. That's a really big thing in codependence and why we do that. Um, we're always dependent on somebody else's help, somebody else's attention, or giving way too much of our energy out and not balancing that give and take when we've never learned to any boundaries and how to stop from being able to do that, because it's like our addiction. And to a narcissistic partner and a codependent, we just, we come together because part of the main reason is because the narcs are so dependent on um, the addiction to other people's energy and things, material things, and then codependency is so addicted to needing that attention from somebody else. But then we get broken down during the relationship as to they will take even crumbs of what is left of us. And talking about crumbs, they can use us and take from us and take all our energy, whether it's positive or negative, and just use it all up, and we let them until we're dead. And then usually, like vampires, when they suck us dry, whether it's financially, emotionally, with a lot of gaslighting, where you just finally feel like there's really something wrong with you and helpless, and you can't get away from this person. Um, they'll usually leave us because they need bigger sources of supply and energy from someone fresh and full of energy and life. But usually always another codependent person that has no boundaries, and then they go and feed off someone else. Um, but when we do get to that point where it gets so bad that we start wanting answers to why life has turned so painful, why we're so devastated. Um, So, but more on the wheels. There's spiritual, there's mental stability, psychological stability, emotional stability, learning to balance our emotions and feel our emotions, um, how to self-soothe and self-calm ourselves after all the trauma we've been through in our lives, and how we continue to create more trauma for ourselves if we don't learn what we need to about codependency. Just like a person has a very, very extreme hard time recovering from drugs and alcohol when they never learn about um, how to conquer it. And again, you can't really do it by yourself. I enjoy a therapist every day. I'm waiting to go see mine soon. And when you're in this world of abuse, whether it's from family, maybe a job, friends, um, the crackdown on us can be just extreme where, I mean, we might have had plans going on before, like schooling or whatever. And, all of a sudden they do something to trip you up and you're not able to get that financial aid that you wanted or needed. um they can keep you from excelling and kick you down when you do start to excel, or maybe when you start learning about this stuff, they finally go on, and when you start having boundaries, how I was learning earlier in a video that 75 to 85% of the people in your life will disappear. I mean, they will turn your backs, cast you out, or just leave. Um, and not to grow into too much suffering at this time, blaming it all on yourself, and knowing and learning that it's really not your fault. But when you do start gathering boundaries and listening to other people talk about codependency, you start breaking that cycle of their constant punishment and put downs, and you start maybe, having some confidence. And when you do start breaking out of it and start saying no to these people and being tired of and learning like what their gaslighting techniques are and things. Um, you know, so my phone is having a call. I had to shut it off. Um, you just you feel alone all of a sudden, like everybody always has all of a sudden have something else to do, and you've talked with these people like your whole life, or they start being too busy for you, and not to feel so rejected and to actually feel some relief from this because 75 to 85% of the people in your life, friends included, were probably very toxic and more abusive or controlling in a way that, bring you way down um, to keep you in victim mode. The narcissist and their flying monkeys, to where instead of feeling sad and lonely, to go out there, and I think there was like 6 months, a good 6 month or something is the average, where you start breaking away from your toxic lifestyle, and eventually new people start joining it. You start making different friends, other friends. Maybe you start a new job somewhere where they treat you better, um, where they don't constantly have you breaking you down in a manipulative way. Um, So I really wanted to share that information today, and for those of you going through like a heartbreak or separation from family or friends, and you're slowly breaking away from it. Maybe it's going to take years yet before you're totally out, depending on how bad the control is in your life. But I think that it's worth it. Um, Not only are they going to be angry that you're creating boundaries and you're no longer putting up with it, maybe you're planning to save money back, um, and move or whatever it is to not get disgusted and keep in your recovery, no matter if it's reading something or you know, whatever it is, going to see a therapist that is educated on narcissistic abuse. Make sure that you get one that knows about it and that is not still with that victim mentality, that has never learned about it. Because it will take someone that can teach you boundaries to be able to break that cycle. And, you know, it will give hope, it will give light, and it will begin to give us the reassurance, and then we are able to help others crack the codes on their own victimization. And even though we can get really knocked down and kicked down when we do start the boundaries, in the end, they're going to have to find somebody else to treat like that. And and that's basically the name of the game. No matter how deep you're in, if you're an addict of drugs, um, no matter how deep you might be in to whatever group maybe that you've joined out there, no matter how dangerous it might be to leave, um, there is a way out. And when we start choosing different things and start breaking through the fear and gaining that confidence that our escape might be slow, but it is also growing us to a new peace inside of ourselves and therefore attracting different, more peaceful opportunities and adventures out there. So, y'all don't give up, keep going, meditate, breathe, keep a smile on your face, cry when you need to, and above all things, find a support. Find a support today because we need that social. That's another wheel. And don't try to do it on your own or by yourself. If you absolutely have to, you can. but the emotional strength that it helps give you through the love that you've never gotten, you start to learn how to love and how to receive love where we've hardened our hearts to it. And that's when we start growing um, as people again and healing our inner souls and healing our minds from darker thoughts that are untrue, and we relearn new beautiful thoughts instead. um just giving you a little bit of what I know and what I'm learning. And I'm going to, no matter how hard you fall, remember that it's all part of the growing experience. And as we work on it daily or weekly, then we learn to have that strength and courage that we need to keep going. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Peace.